Lights on. Yeah. Today we are going to tackle writing dialogue. It's stressful, and it's even hard for me to say that I'm teaching anyone to write dialogue. I'm just going to give you a few tips that will help you in putting it out there in the best way possible, telling your story in the best way possible, expressing your character's feelings in the best way possible, and moving the story forward. So the first thing that you're supposed to consider is the classic question, what would Jesus do? It's the same that you're asking of your character. What would John do? In case that's the name of your character, what would John do? And that will only be well applied or well done. Your dialogue will only be well written if you've taken time to develop your character. Once you've done that, it will be just a little easier for you to write good dialogue. It's hard to get good dialogue anyway, so if there's anything to make it just slightly easier, please do it. The next thing that you can ask yourself, since I love questions, I'll always ask questions. What does your character want? What are the goals of your character? In a scene, a character has a goal. The protagonist will always have a goal. The antagonist, whoever else, the supporting characters, they want something. They want to either get something from someone or evoke a particular emotion, something like that. So you should know what they want, their goals, in each scene that you write. And the next one would be, how will they show it? How will they portray it? Will they do it in actions? Still here comes down to character. Character is everything when you're writing dialogue. Will they do it in actions? Is it a person who talks too much? They'll be a little bit wordier than normal. Is it a comical guy? They'll ask for something, meaning something else in an odd way, put in an odd situation. And you need to know how your character will portray themselves. The next one is, but this one is a common rule, get in late and leave early. You get in when the conflict is almost at its maximum, and leave just when it's about to end. Sometimes when it's ending, but yeah, that's mathematics. Depends on how you want to portray your scene. So for example, let me give an example of a scene. A couple is at a restaurant. They're eating. I'm already bored. We don't need to know when they arrived in the restaurant. We don't need to know what they're talking about while they're eating. We just need to know when the drama has begun. So when they're shouting at each other, maybe the wife knows that the husband is cheating. Most common scene. And the wife will just look at him. How were you last night? And she's just waiting for him to lie. Now, that's a scene I'm already interested in. So you've gotten in late. You've thrown away all the garbage that includes the salutations, ordering whichever meal from the waiter. You've just got in when the scene really matters. And then you leave probably when the wife has walked out. And before the husband even tries to run after her, that's a scene. That's a good scene already. We don't need to know whether he'll go and get, well, probably that will be another scene. Maybe they're outside. So you'll get in much later. So it's all about getting in late and leaving early in your scene. Show, don't tell. That's an expression that's also often used. You show what your character wants to do instead of telling it. They don't explain. The perfect example is for a kid. A kid, when your kid is mad, when your baby is mad, or a toddler, a baby is too young, a toddler is mad, they'll just cry or throw tantrums. Instead of coming to the parent and saying, I am angry at you, that rarely happens. So this also tackles the next thing that I want to touch on, the subtext. We rarely express exactly what we feel. We'll say it in other words. We'll not say exactly what we feel. So in the kid example, they'll just like cry or yell something or throw something across the room. They won't say that, I am mad. And that applies to adults. So I guess we never change, we never grow. Then you have to know what your character's profession is. If he's a doctor, you have to know some of the lingo. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know the lingo, but I did some IT. So if I'm referring to a laptop or a PC, when I'm talking about it, I'll use terms like RAM, CPU, hard disk memory. Those are things that a normal guy might not understand. Although these days everybody is pretty tech savvy, so they will understand. And there's screen resolution. If you're talking to a DOP, you have the white balancing and things like that. So you have to know the lingo, what's normally used. If your character is a doctor, if your character is a cinematographer, that's what they will also use. So keep it authentic. All these things will reveal character, obviously. If it's an IT guy and they're using these acronyms that might confuse people, that reveals that he's an IT guy. Without doing much, you've just introduced it in dialogue, and it keeps your dialogue brief and to the point and snappy. So set the stage for conflict. Always set the stage for conflict. So in the scene that the example that I gave of the couple in the restaurant who the wife found out that the Hazi is cheating on her, the moment she asks the question, where were you last night? That has set the stage for conflict. Way before the husband starts mumbling something that doesn't make sense or tries to lie and the wife already knows the truth. Always use your dialogue that way. You know the goal of the character, you know the goal of the wife. The goal of the wife is to catch the husband lying in a lie. So you set it up for that. Read it aloud. That's quite easy. You can read out your dialogue. It really helps in knowing whether it's real. You can feel it. How does a person talk? If you are a person, of course, you'll know how people talk, and especially when you read it aloud. And I found this especially important when I was doing the short film, The Ghost Letter.
Is Mokisha okay?
What's your problem?
This is better than what you Christians call salvation.
But that wasn't the plan.
And in this case, it wasn't even me reading the dialogue aloud. It was the actors who were reading the dialogue aloud. And you could just sense when something doesn't work. So I had to change. If you can get an actor to do it, they're normally called script read-throughs, the better. Watakusaidia sana. So share your work. In fact, just to finish up, there's most professionals, people who have really made it in screenwriting, they know how to share their work, and they share their work with the right people they trust. So don't be afraid also to share your work and get as many views as possible. And it will just make your script better. It will make it more focused because there's something that you want your audience to feel. So if you can make just somebody ordinary or a friend that you trust feel your script, then you know you're heading in the right direction. And that's it, writing dialogue. I've given you the tips, go on and write.